Welcome to Literature Day in the network, everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. It's hot again here, super hot. Um, we're having like a earlier than normal heat wave here, but could be could be uh, could be just really windy and rainy, I guess. So there's that. Um, Today, for literary day, I wanted to do a sort of, I guess, like a different take on a book review. This is a review of my favorite book, like complete all time, and one that I'm about to partake for the fifth time soon. I've read it twice and listened to the audiobook three times. The audiobook's amazing. It's Nick Podell, great narrator. Um, So, one of the most useful tools of self discovery and self growth, um, and even shadow work is fiction. I'm not talking about escape literature, which is just meant to keep you activated and basically turning the pages so that you're burning daylight. Um, or a mystery where it's so very linear and so very involved, that you're sort of just that you're just waiting for the next action to occur, um, or a romance, which is you know strictly non-linear and therefore not activating. It's not a body mind soul experience, right? It's they're activating one of the three, and that's it. I like, for me, if you're going to use fiction in your self growth, then I feel it has to engage the body, mind, and spirit all at the same time, or somewhere around there. Um, now, as I was saying, this is my favorite book, the finest one I've personally read, from an enjoyment, from a self growth, from a magical world building, all of it, is the first book in Patrick Rothfuss's epic trilogy, The Kingkiller Chronicles. It has a very unique structure, that series, which I'm not really going to share because in doing so I would kind of ruin the first three chapters of the trilogy, and that's, with a well-written trilogy, those are crucially important. That experience at the start is crucially important when it's not an info dump, but it actually pulls you in. You don't want to lose that, so I'm not going to go too much into the structure of it, but it's very unique. You've never read a book like it. Um, the first book in the series is titled The Name of the Wind. That's the one I'm specifically talking about, which is a coming of age piece, but from a sort of a unique perspective, as I was saying. Um, there is there's a sort of inventive and somewhat practical magic system, um, and the world is big and grand, yet real and gritty and dirty. The characters are real and gritty and dirty themselves, and they encompass what people around us actually are, um, from just a different angle of their walk of life. The common theme that stands out the most is in these books, particularly the first one, is the introduction of PTSD as a specific thing. The way that the characters are narrated, that interaction is literally somebody with PTSD dealing with somebody who triggers it, somebody triggering somebody with PTSD, and sort of that amalgamation of that give and take that exists there, and where that where when it's out of balance and how it works, and the emotions that it can evoke within the construct of any type of relationship, be that extremely personal or platonic or um, in passing. Um, it affects everything. And I will continue to explore the depths of my human soul, uh, with my lovely counterpart, the love of my life, because that's another, you know, suddenly that's another part of my life where I am learning about these things, and what they mean, and you know how that interaction is beautifully unique in its own way, and it's not challenging. It's just different. Um, and every single time I read the book, I get sort of new insights, and I look at it through from a slightly different angle. It's like looking at a gemstone with 32 or 64 faces or however many, and you can look at it for hours and never actually see it completely because there's so many different facets, and every way that you turn it and every facet that you look at changes the whole look of the entire stone. And that's sort of how this book works for me. Particularly in audiobook format, I do find that the cadence of the narration, you pick up on it differently different times that you read it. When the first time I listened to it, there may be an interaction in which I picked up on Nick's cadence and the possible emotion that I may not have gotten when I read it on paper. We don't all interpret quotation and grammar exactly the same. We don't attach the same emotions to grammar, and so through narration, I believe that you can get more because it's interpretive. So therefore, the narrator may not interpret it exactly as you do, and the narrator may have had significant notes from the author, in which they can then operate within what was intended, and therefore all of the pieces of the book can line up in a more cohesive way and give you the picture that was intended to be painted. That's a beautiful interaction that happens, and in some cases Neil Gaiman narrates all his audiobooks himself, so those are very much that is how it was intended to be interpreted. Now, when it comes to when it comes to that, I always recommend that people read it as well, because your own interpretation does not have to fit with what the author intended to give you. You can gain extra insight outside of that structure that was built for you, and that's wonderful too. So taking the two in together, in this particular instance, the audiobook is not expensive considering it's 11 hours. It's quite a long audiobook. It's a very long book. So the audiobook is really inexpensive considering how large it is, and the book is as well. So you can find that in the standard places. The entire audiobook is on YouTube. So I don't recommend that you not buy the book or support the author in any way by just simply using that audiobook, but you can listen to the first chapter or two, and I'm fairly confident that you will be hooked and you'll be into it by the time you finish those. So everybody take a look at that if you want, if you're into that, if that's sort of the modality that you might be seeking at the current time. And if not, then thanks for watching, tuning in. I also wrote a blog up about this, very similar to what I just presented. Just noticed that some people don't have the within the confines of where they're living, who they live with, they're not able to watch videos or listen to audios from the network because they have to do the personal reading thing. So I decided I would offer both, which fits in my theme of listen to this book and read it, because both are very valid. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Oh, well, see you this evening. I'm gonna introduce my energy work to everyone, and then I'm going to build an energy field with a few of you that may happen to want to join us tomorrow evening on Friday. So if I see you there, then fantastic, and I'll see you at coffee time. Ciao.